So welcome to this other video here. Another question came up on the forum and has to do with possibly some training issues with new users in Alibre that getting used to the new interface, or an interface is different from what they've been using in other CAD programs. But the question came up on how do you dimension like whole locations relative to existing features that are already in your model or in your part. So let me start off here with a rectangle on the XY plane here. I'll do a center rectangle, and we'll make this 225 by 100. And then we'll make this horizontal on the top line, and then extrude that. And we'll just leave it default at 5. So if we add a couple of holes here, and we'll make this a 15, and we'll dimension this to off the edge, say 20. And this one, we'll bring this in at 25, and then we'll punch this through all. Okay, so now we've got our plate with a hole in it. Now I'm going to add another hole here, and so I'll make this one 20, but I want to dimension this relative to this hole here. So if I select my circle and then come up, and I'll just click on the edge of this circle, it's going to bring up this dialog here, and it's going to default to go center to center. So if I just click OK, my dimension is locked from center to center of these two holes. Just click to place your dimension and key in a value, say 45, and now I can go from this circle to this node in the center of the one that I just referenced, and I can get in, snap another dimension, and if I can just drag up and get a horizontal dimension here and say 15, and now my sketch is fully defined, and I can then punch that through as a hole through all, and then that completes my sketch as being fully defined. Now the question came up, or comment was that in order to do this properly, or safely rather, and be assured that this relationship is going to maintain association, is that you should first, let me start another circle here, and I'll dimension this here 20. Now I should first select this edge here, the circle, and I should project to edge, or project this edge to sketch. And it's not absolutely necessary to do that. I mean, you can do a project to sketch, and when you do this, your project to sketch dialog tells you, creates a sketch figure. But in this case, I want it to be a reference figure, and I want to maintain association with my source entity. So when I click OK, I get my circle, I get a center node, and I also get an anchor symbol here, an anchor, a locked on symbol for the constraints. That means that this geometry now is linked to this hole, or to the edge of this hole, and I don't have to worry about it. It's going to stay there. I can move that hole, I can change its size, and it'll always be related to that geometry of that hole. What I've found though, see if you can click on this, you can't click on that node and drag it out of the way. But what I have found, let me just delete this geometry. If I come in here and say I want to dimension this hole here, if I click on this circle and click on this edge of that hole, I get my slot dimension option. I go center to center, and I click OK. I place my dimension, say 50, what I have found is that just by doing that, I can't move this geometry, this reference. Notice that the edge has been basically converted to reference geometry. I cannot move it off that location. If I delete this dimension, that geometry still remains there, but I still cannot move it by clicking and dragging on it. And if I deactivate my sketch, double click on my hole, change my dimension here from 15, say go to 10, change my location, change this to 30, get out of this, rebuild. Now I come back in and edit my last sketch. That geometry, reference geometry, has stayed linked to that hole through although it's been changed in size and location, it's still relative to that hole. So my dimension for this whole location here is going to be maintaining its relationship. So whatever I do here to let me cut this through here, through all. So if you have a relationship between holes that you want to maintain, you've got two options. One, you can just dimension between the features as you normally would, and it'll create its reference geometry that you dimension to. Or you can use the project to sketch and make sure that you maintain association as reference geometry and to maintain relationships between existing or pre-existing features on your model. So anyway, another quick tip for you. Hope that helps.